a man who stood in front of millions and said, "I am your God." His name was Pharaoh. He had everything: power, wealth, an empire that could not be questioned. But listen carefully. The most powerful king in history was destroyed, not by an army, not by a rebellion, but by water. And the most shocking part, his body still exists today, preserved. As a warning, this is the story of arrogance, power, and a man who challenged God and lost everything. The rise of a false god. In ancient Egypt, Pharaoh ruled with absolute power. But he didn't just rule the land. He ruled people's beliefs. "I am your supreme lord," he declared, and no one dared to deny it. People didn't just follow him, they worshipped him. Egypt flourished under his command. But behind that beauty was suffering. A nation enslaved, Bani Israel, the dream that started fear. One night, Pharaoh saw a terrifying dream. A fire rising, destroying Egypt, but sparing Bani Israel. For the first time, Pharaoh felt fear. His advisors told him, "A child will be born who will destroy your kingdom." And just like that, fear turned into cruelty, the order of death. Pharaoh gave a brutal command: kill every newborn boy. Soldiers spread across Egypt. Mothers cried, homes were destroyed, but destiny could not be stopped. The child who survived. In that darkness, a child was born. His name was Moses. His mother, terrified, but guided by faith, placed him in a small chest and set him into the river. The river carried him straight into Pharaoh's palace. Raised by the enemy, Pharaoh's wife, Asiya, saw the child and said, "Do not kill him." Pharaoh agreed. And just like that, the one who would destroy him was raised under his own roof. A moment that changed everything. Years passed. The child grew into a man. Strong, aware, different. Moses had seen both worlds, the luxury of the palace and the suffering of his people. And one day, everything changed. He saw a man from Bani Israel being brutally oppressed. The cries were too real to ignore. So he stepped in, one strike, and the oppressor fell. Silence. But that silence carried a truth. The man was dead. Moses froze. "This was not my intention." Regret filled his heart. He turned to Allah and asked for forgiveness. And Allah forgave him. But the city did not. The news spread fast. In the palace, anger rose. Pharaoh's court made a decision. Moses must die. A man came running, warning him, "Leave now. They are planning to kill you." And without looking back, Moses left everything behind. No veil, no protection, just faith. He walked into the desert, alone. Days turned into nights. Hunger, exhaustion, uncertainty, until he reached a distant land. Madian. There he saw something different. A group of men watering their animals. And at a distance, 2 women waiting. They couldn't step forward. Moses noticed. He asked, "Why are you waiting?" They replied, "We wait until the crowd leaves. Our father is old." Without hesitation, Moses stepped forward and helped them. No reward asked, no expectation, just kindness. Later, one of the women returned. With modesty, she said, "My father invites you to reward you." That meeting changed everything. Their father, a righteous man, welcomed Moses gave him safety, gave him purpose, and eventually a family. Years passed. The prince of Egypt had become a simple shepherd. But this was not loss. This was preparation. Then came the night that would change history forever. On his journey back, Moses saw a fire on a mountain. He told his family, "Wait here, I see a fire. I may bring you warmth or guidance." But when he reached it, it was not just fire. A voice called out, "Oh Moses, I am Allah, your Lord. Remove your sandals. You are in a sacred valley." His body trembled. His heart raced. "I have chosen you. Go to Pharaoh, for he has crossed all limits." Moses knew the danger. So he prayed, "My Lord, expand my chest. Make my task easy, and send my brother Harun with me." His prayer was accepted, and together they returned to the palace, the same palace he once called home. Pharaoh looked at him and smiled with arrogance. "Who is your Lord, O Moses?" Moses replied, "My Lord is the one who gives life and causes death." Pharaoh laughed. "Prove it." So the challenge was set. The greatest magicians of Egypt were gathered. They threw their ropes, and to the people, they looked like snakes. Fear spread across the crowd. But then Moses threw his staff, and it became a real serpent. Not illusion, not trickery, truth. It swallowed everything. The magicians knew immediately. This was not magic. This was from Allah. They fell into prostration. But Pharaoh, his pride refused to break. Then came his signs, not once, but again and again. Storms that destroyed crops, locusts that devoured everything, lice that spread discomfort, frogs that fill homes, water that turned into blood. Clear warnings, clear signs, but Pharaoh still said, "This is nothing but magic." Finally, the command came: "Take your people and leave at night. No noise, no delay, just faith." Bani Israel walked silently, leaving behind everything they knew, until they reached the sea. In front of them, the ocean. Behind them, Pharaoh's army. Fear spread. We are trapped. But Moses A.S. stood firm. No, my Lord is with me. He will guide me. Then came the command. Strike the sea. He raised his staff and struck, and then the impossible happened. The sea split. Walls of water rose on both sides. A path appeared. Dry, clear, safe. They walked through it, step by step, until the last person crossed. Headphone Chapter 17. The Fall of a Tyrant. Pharaoh saw it, and instead of learning, he chased, blinded by arrogance. If they can pass, so can I. He entered the path with his army, but this time there was no miracle waiting for him. Only judgment. The sea closed. Waves crashed down, and the man who said, "I am your Lord," could not save himself. The sea had closed. Pharaoh was gone. His army destroyed. For the first time in generations, Bani Israel were free. No chance, no masters, no fear behind them. But ahead, uncertainty. The desert stretched endlessly, and freedom came with a test they were not ready for. They had seen miracles, the sea splitting, their enemy destroyed. Yet their hearts were still weak. As they walked through the desert, they passed by people worshiping idols, and something shocking happened. They said to Moses, "Make for us a god like they have." After everything they had witnessed, they still asked for this. Moses turned to them. "You are a people who do not understand." It was the first sign that freedom alone does not change hearts. Then came a moment of honor. Allah called Moses A.S. to Mount Sinai to receive guidance, law, and a way of life for his people before leaving Aaron to lead, and said, "Take care of the people and keep them on the right path." Then Moses A.S. left for 40 nights. Days turned into nights, and patience began to fade. A man among them, named Samari, took advantage. He collected gold, melted it, and created a calf, a golden idol that made a strange sound. And then he said, "This is your God and the God of Moses." And unbelievably, many believed him. They began to worship it, the same people who had just seen the sea split. When Moses A.S. returned, he saw it, his people bowing to a statue. His anger was intense. Not just anger, pain, disappointment. He confronted them. He turned to his brother Aaron A.S. "Why didn't you stop them?" Aaron A.S. replied, "They were close to turning against me. I feared division among them." Moses A.S. realized this was deeper than just one mistake. This was a test of faith. The truth was made clear. The golden calf was destroyed. But the lesson was not easy. They had to repent. They had to understand that miracles alone do not create belief. Faith requires patience, discipline, trust. The story did not end with Pharaoh's death, because the real story was never just about a tyrant. It was about people, about how quickly humans forget, even after witnessing truth. Pharaoh represents arrogance, but Bani Israel represent human weakness. And between these two stand the message: power can destroy you, and doubt can mislead you. One man claimed to be God and drowned. A nation saw miracles and still went astray. So the question is not, what happened then? The question is, what would you have done if you were there?